want to welcome everybody to our brief program to help celebrate the past year of service and service learning activities here at SUU through our Community Engagement Center. And we'll be brief, I promise. And we have a program that we've created to help you see the highlights and the people that we wish to acknowledge today. First of all, we'd like to just acknowledge some folks who are here representing various facets of the university. I want to thank Provost Brad Cook for being here. I also have seen members of our Faculty Service Learning Committee. Cindy, are you still here? Thank you, Cindy. Carl Stevens is still here. Appreciate that. And Bridget Eastup in the back, thank you. Pam, of course, is on the Service Learning Committee, so thank you. I see Donna Edelman in the back. Wave to the adoring throngs, please. So, thanks, Donna. So I appreciate everyone showing up here today for, again, our effort to highlight some of our accomplishments over the past year. First of all, we need to acknowledge the wonderful displays and presentations that have been lovingly prepared. We have a PowerPoint here with 200 photographs of activities over the past year that Sheraya Brown put together. And it includes some photos from our dedication event of the Community Engagement Center back in October, when President Benson joined us and Dean Patrick Clark joined us to dedicate our new facility. So as a Community Engagement Center, we're not even a year old. We began to function officially in that capacity on July 1st. We moved officially into the new building in October. And so we're still unfolding and developing our programs, but I think we have a lot to build on. Another highlight this year was being named for the third successive year to the President's Higher Education Community Service Honor Roll. And in the back there, there's a display that includes a remarkable slide showing how in this past year we were able to document almost 92,000 hours of student service and service learning activities. And it's been a dramatic jump from 2 years ago when we were able to document 42,000 student service hours. And that's a testament to all of the students who are engaged in so many activities on campus and in the community. We also want to acknowledge that the Community Engagement Center has been a central part of developing SUU's new experiential education requirement. And we've been developing that over the past 2 years. And this is the first year now where all incoming students are required to complete that experiential education component. And our Community Engagement Center is one of 5 centers devoted to the support of that program under the umbrella of University College and the Provost Office. I also wanted to mention as a highlight the fact that we have new staff. With our new name of Community Engagement Center, we have new positions and new people, including myself. I'm the interim director of the Community Engagement Center. And thankfully, we've been able to continue to rely upon the efforts of people like Pam Brandon. Pam, can you wave? Pam is the Associate Director of the Community Engagement Center. Also, we were able to hire this year Veronica Cazares. Where's Veronica? Can you wave, please? Veronica is our administrative assistant who came on board in August of this year. Gabrielle Strand, can you please wave to the crowd? Gabrielle joined us in January as a program specialist with a focus on our AmeriCorps program, and she's delved into many different things, helping out with our Service Corps, our service leaders, and she's doing a lot of imaginative and dedicated work. We appreciate her. Luke Knowles. Luke is there with the tie and the beard. He may be the only Green Bay Packer fan in the room. But don't hold that against him, please. Anyway, Luke is our VISTA volunteer who was hired through the funding and support of the Utah Campus Compact. And he started back in November, and he's working to develop our relationships with community partners. He's also been involved in trying to develop a community garden project here at SUU. And he's done a lot to raise the visibility and awareness of VISTA and AmeriCorps programs here in our community. I also want to acknowledge some of our student assistants over this year. Sheraya Brown, there's Sheraya. Andrea Decker, is she here? And Shannon McLean. These are our student assistants who have done a lot of work this year in a variety of ways that isn't always evident, but is certainly much appreciated. Well, I'd like to turn our time next to Pam Brennan, who will share with you some of the highlights about our Utah Campus Compact nominees. And we'll continue on with our brief program, so thanks.
Earl's a hard act to follow. Bridget leaned over and said, "Wow, he's a really good MC." So, I do want to mention before I talk about the Campus Compact honorees, the last bullet under the highlights there says student service activities. And I want to congratulate students who are here for the great work that you've done this year. I have the opportunity to work with 24 student service leaders who are each chairpersons over community programs that happen out in the Cedar City area. And they do amazing work. They spend hours every week tutoring, playing sports with middle school kids, reaching out to senior citizens in our area. Help me out here, service leaders. Overseeing Bread and Soup Night, which supports the Hope Pantry. One of the first student campus-based pantries in the country that's now being emulated in many places throughout the state and country as people look at our successful model. Working with after-school dance programs for community kids, after-school swimming programs, story hours at the public library. They're just very, very, very involved, and they represent SUU extremely well. And so I want to give a shout out, and in fact, can we just give students a round of applause? Now, as faculty and staff and administrators, that's why we're here, is to support students as they develop educationally and personally and socially and emotionally and mentally. But they come well prepared, and they are doing a great job out in our community. And I want to specifically highlight today, we had a couple of service leaders and Brielle Strand from our office who did a great job making sure that everything looks so fantastic on your tables. They've done a good job highlighting some of the programs that are sponsored out of the Community Engagement Center. With that, I want to talk about Campus Compact. Campus Compact is a state and national organization that is a coalition of higher education institutions. Presidents of universities and colleges join. So this is something that's supported at the top level of our university. And Campus Compact in Utah each year selects people in each community that really have been exemplars of outstanding civic engagement. And we have some excellent representatives that were honored by Utah Campus Compact this year at an event at the beginning of the month. And I just want to highlight and recognize them. And then there is a display over here. I'm not a theater person. Is that stage right? Stage left? It's over there. That you can look at to read details about the amazing things that they have done that have engaged SUU as a good community member, that have engaged students in opportunities that have enriched their SUU experience, and our community partners who have provided, essentially, they provide a lab for students who get to come and have real-world hands-on experiences. And so, with no further ado, Carrie Trenholm, and if you would stand up maybe, Carrie, is our civically engaged scholar for the broad work she has done with Arts Fusion and many other programs. And I don't know if I saw Casey Bounds and Marisa Foster come in. That's how dedicated they are. I'm sure they're down in their office working. I have to tell you though, I have known for many years how fortunate we are to have Casey and Marissa in our motor pool office, and they help us in a critical way to be engaged in our communities. When I talk with colleagues across the state, and let them know the things that we're doing, that we have an after-school sports program that we use transportation for, that we take several alternative breaks, including some out of the country, that we will work with our motor pool office to utilize campus vehicles. Generally, their jaws drop and they say, how do you do that? And all credit due to Casey and Marissa, who, instead of saying, no, can't do that, are really willing to go the extra mile and work to make sure that they support our programs. And a student walked in this afternoon into our office and saw this display board with Casey and Marissa on it, and he's worked with the after-school sports program, and he said, Casey, oh, he's awesome. He totally deserves that award. So testimonial from students, too, that they really do provide critical support. So even though they're not here, let's please give them a round of applause. Is Randy here? I know she was here earlier. Randy Sorensen is our civically engaged student. She is the president of PBL and created the Teddy Bear Den in conjunction with the March of Dimes. And it's a program, see her great information over here on this table, but it's a program sponsored by March of Dimes that helps women who are low-income moms earn points through healthy behaviors that they can then use to purchase needed items for their baby. And the one located here on campus is it only the second one in Utah, is that right? Is only the second one in Utah. And so Randy has worked dedicatedly for probably, I think, more than a year. About a year, to get this program set up and running, and the Teddy Bear Den had its grand opening in March and is providing an excellent and needed service in our community. So let's give Randy an appreciation. And then our committed community partners are Steve Burton and Kim Sasita, still here. There they are. There's Steve. I talked to Kim right over here. Do you guys want, I'm putting you on the spot, but would you mind standing so we can all see who you are? Steve, thank you. Steve is the principal at East Elementary, and Kim is one of the first grade teachers there. We have had just an outstanding relationship with East Elementary that has been extremely beneficial to our university and to the students that are there working with them. They've been very accommodating and generous in the use of their facility and in helping support an after-school dance program that's offered once a week there. And Kim comes to campus and provides student training to students who are interested in volunteering at East Elementary, and they've provided just great opportunities for students to go and have real hands-on, meaty learning experiences as they get to work with kids at East Elementary. And so we appreciate what they've done to provide that outstanding opportunity to students here at the university. So let's go. And those are our Campus Compact honorees, and again, you can read details about them up front here. Thank you.
Well, I always find Pam a hard act to follow, so back at you. The Utah Campus Compact honorees get public recognition, and they receive a nice artistic medallion, and they were feted at a free lunch at UVU, so that was a nice event for them. Our next set of awards, though, carry more. They carry a cash award, a stipend of $750 each per person, and these are our Service Learning Fellow Awards, which we've been doing since 2006. And it's an important part of what we do here to promote and reward faculty who pursue these types of teaching strategies. Since 2002, SUU has had an official definition of service learning, which we define as a curricular-based educational experience in which students participate in organized activities that meet community needs and then reflect upon their experiences, tying those experiences to course content, a broader appreciation of their discipline, and an enhanced sense of civic responsibility. So we have a competitive application process, and then our Faculty Service Learning Committee reviews the applications. And this year we're delighted to honor 3 people. And we have a display up here that explains more about each of them. But if you could, please, when I call you up, please come up and patiently wait while I say a few positive things about you, okay? So our first award goes to Matt Barton. When I find his plaque, he will get it. There we go. Matt is an alumnus of SU. He graduated from here as a magna cum laude graduate in 1995, and he then went on to earn a master's degree at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and a PhD at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And in the Department of Communication, Matt has done a number of different and impressive things. But I think this year what we want to acknowledge is his work in developing service learning components in his course, Communications 4504, which is health communication. And he's done a number of things in which students have the opportunity to participate with Meals on Wheels. He's also developed an interesting program for students in which he and his students are creating a survival package for students who might be impacted by natural or other disasters. It's an interesting concept about temporary sustainability, and it's an interesting idea that sometimes our students are underserved populations, especially when they're far from home during an event that might prevent them from getting home. And this week, after we've had the Great Utah Shakeout, I think many of us were made aware that earthquakes might very well affect us, and Matt and his students have helped to work with that. So we want to acknowledge Matt's work in this course and his many years of active engagement in trying to promote service opportunities that reach out to Cedar City, to Enoch, and other parts of our area. So thank you, Matt. Is Nisa Clark here? Come on up. I'm not going to say hold your applause because I like hearing it up here too, so thank you, Nisa. I don't know how many of you know Nisa, but she grew up a good part of her life here in Cedar City, a proud graduate of Cedar High School, and she went on to the University of Utah to study biology, where she graduated in 1997. She then worked in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industries and obtained an MS in nutrition and dietetics at the University of Utah in 2004. She ended up coming back to Utah after working in Arizona, where she worked in St. George with the WIC program, and you were a registered dietitian. In any event, luckily, fortunately for us, Nisa came on board as a lecturer in the nutrition program, and she's been teaching as a lecturer where she offers courses in general education that focus on nutrition, and she's also taught classes in clinical, culinary, and community nutrition. And we're honoring her today in part for her very exciting, vibrant, and purposeful work in a class called Community Nutrition. This is NFS 4480. And she explained that in the fall of 2011, her students worked at a number of different agencies and sites, including the Iron County Care and Share, the Bishop Storehouse, and the Iron County School District, where students worked at Cedar High and at East Elementary. She's also promoted programs with her students that help to support our Hope Food Pantry and our Bread and Soup Night. Anyway, I want to share with you some comments that students provided to Nisa, and I think these speak generally to what students do gain out of service learning and similar opportunities. She quoted one student as saying, "I was expecting to hate this service, but it ended up being my favorite part of the class." That's a nice thing to hear. And then another student said, "I'm of the opinion that most classes offered here at SUU should be service learning. It is a great way to get out in the community and make a difference. This experience has changed me." So I'm glad to hear that from your students, and we're glad to acknowledge your impressive work here today. So thank you, Nisa. Okay, last but not least, Britt Mays, can you come on up? You can clap. Thank you, Britt. Britt is a professor of psychology here at SUU, and he's been working at SUU since 1999, so how's it feel to be old like me?
They go by far too quickly, don't they?
They do. Britt has a BS degree from California State University and both MS and PhD degrees from Colorado State, where he studied environmental and social psychology. Some of you may know that Britt's done some very interesting work with the psychology of sound. In fact, he's received grants to do work in the National Park System. And we're honoring him this year for his work with students in his environmental psychology course, Psych 3500. In that class, students learn more about themselves as people and their interactions with the natural environment. And topics in that class range from very broad topics such as sustainability or climate change, if I may say that, and along with very specific focus areas such as design alternatives to built environments. But mainly in this course, students learn to appreciate how place impacts an individual's cognition, affect, and behavior. And some of his students have done amazing work, especially in fall of 2011, when they spent hundreds of hours working here in the community with our Cedar City Recreation Department and the Cedar City Council to begin planning a dog park for the community. Now, we don't always think of dogs as being an underserved population, but certainly dog owners might be. So we appreciate Britt and his students in doing that. In addition, your students have gone further south to a place called St. George, where they assisted with reforestation projects and helping to deal with some of the flood control issues that emerged there in Santa Clara and St. George. So you've done a lot of interesting things over the years with your students, and we're pleased to recognize you today. I'd like to quote what Britt has said about this course in service learning. He said, quote, "Learning about the physical environment and community engagement creates a stronger attachment to the place where students live and go to school, and it fosters a willingness to become involved wherever their careers may take them," unquote. I think it's a very nice explanation of what students gain from his course and from effort by other faculty here to do service learning. So thank you, Britt. Well, that concludes our formal program. I appreciate your patience and support and attendance here today.